Hey, what's up, Rattlers? So, when it comes to giant lizards, the Asian water monitor is without a doubt one of the world's most popular pet lizard. These are one adaptable lizard living in all sorts of different environments here in Thailand. Not only in wild environments like this lake behind me in southwestern Thailand, but also in urban environments as well. So I'm going to take some time and I'm going to look into how they're living out here in the wild so that we better know how to care for them in our homes.
I'm Dāv Kaufman, and I tour the world to see how reptiles are living in the wild. And while I'm at it, checking out some of the most amazing facilities and reptile expos as well. It's all about learning, appreciation, and conservation. So come with me and join my reptile adventures.
At Zilla, we are dedicated to the innovation of caging, lighting, and equipment solutions that provide proper husbandry for your pet's long and happy life. To see our entire catalog, visit zillarules.com.
So out here in the wilds of Thailand, as well as in domestic situations, monitor lizards grow really fast within the first year. And out here, they're eating basically food that's easy to catch. So they're eating primarily insects for the first year of their life, and that's when they do the most growing, because evolutionarily speaking, a baby lizard is food itself for other animals out here. So it needs to grow as fast as it can to get as big as it can in a short amount of time in order to ensure their survival out here. So in our domestic situations, for the first year of your monitor's life, you should be feeding it primarily insects, dubia roaches and crickets that are dusted with vitamin D3 and calcium. And you should be feeding them at least once a day or every other day for their first year of life. The baby monitors out here are much more active than the adults because they need to secure that daily food in order to get as big as they can, as quick as they can. So adult monitors do not need to eat as much as the babies do. And as they get over 2 years, you can graduate them up to larger food items like large mice or even small rats, depending on the size of your monitor, and you can feed them at least maybe once to 2 times a week from that point on. So to see water monitors in a more wild habitat like this, let alone film them, is pretty tricky because as soon as you see them and they see you, they are gone. But if you want to see more water monitors than you can count in their other habitat, the urban habitat, then we've got to board a plane and head up to Bangkok. So here in the middle of downtown Bangkok at this park, which is called Lumpini Park, wild Asian water monitors actually live and thrive right here in this urban environment. So these monitors are everywhere. There's one here that's about a 5-footer. There's another one over here, about a 5-footer. There's about a 4-footer right there. And then look at this guy coming over here. That's about a 5-footer right there. And look at that chubster right there. That is one well-fed monitor. So this is a wild Asian water monitor, but look at this. They're so used to people, you can just walk up and touch a wild dragon. So this park is called Lumpini Park because Lumpini is the birthplace of the Buddha. And the park was formed in the 1920s when this was the edge of town and the city grew around the park and the monitors stayed put. Unlike other animals that, as the city grows around them, they get either wiped out by humans or they move on to try to find more suitable habitats. In fact, this urban habitat for these water monitors has been so good that there was actually too many monitors here, and a couple of years ago they estimated there was 400 monitor lizards living in this park. And so what the authorities did was they came in and they captured about 2/3 of the monitor population, and instead of killing them, they actually took extra steps to ensure that the monitors went to a sanctuary where they would not be injured, where they would not be hurt, and they would be cared for the rest of their lives. So essentially, the monitor lizards were overpopulated in this park, but still, after removing that many monitors from this park, there's still over 100 estimated giant Asian water monitors in this park. But this park has everything that these urban dinosaurs need to live a long and happy life. They've got shelter, they've got water, they've got food. So aside from food dropped from humans and fish in this pond, what else are the monitors eating in an urban environment like this? Well, they're basically eating anything that they can find. They really have iron stomachs. In fact, a few years ago on our last trip to Thailand, we actually saw a juvenile water monitor eating a plastic bag or something in that plastic bag and ingesting the plastic bag at the same time. Monitor lizards here in an urban environment basically eat anything that they can find. They really do have iron stomachs. And because of all the people here and everything that they drop, these monitors can always find something to eat in this park. However, as well as food garbage left over by humans, this pond is full of fish that these monitor lizards love to eat. So this park kind of has the feel of walking around a zoo and just looking at an exhibit of giant Asian water monitors, but this is no zoo. And those monitors are actually wild Asian water monitors. It's really kind of interesting to see how people interact with these giant lizards just a few feet away from them. They're taking those swan paddle boats and just coming right up to these monitor lizards. These monitor lizards are so used to people that this one's splashing water on this monitor and the monitor doesn't even care. And one of the things that I find interesting in my travels is the local folklore that surrounds the herps that I encounter. And here in Thailand, some Thais think seeing a monitor lizard will bring bad luck. And a reason for that is that they see these lizards lurk around cemeteries, feasting on rotting flesh and carrion, and therefore may be accompanied by bad spirits or whatever else. But others see them as unlucky for a much more practical reason, and they do steal chickens and eggs and can be a threat to small domestic animals. I was talking to a local guy here, and he was actually telling me a story about how if you are having a work rival, they will actually come here and pick up a monitor lizard and release it in your office in an attempt to bring that coworker that you don't like bad luck. But then on the other hand, some people here believe that if a monitor lizard enters your home, then you're in for some good luck. And to bring on this good fortune, people should speak nicely to the home invading lizard, asking it for more wealth and good luck, and some Thais even think that throwing coins at the lizard will increase their luck even more. So when we talk about the habitat of the Asian water monitor, you really can't have that discussion without also pointing out that urban habitats like this are the, well, I guess, new habitats for Asian water monitors. They are born here, they live their lives here, they eat here, they breed here. So this urban concrete jungle is a habitat for these Asian water monitors here in the middle of downtown Bangkok. So even at this floating market here on the outskirts of Bangkok, water monitors are everywhere out here, and they're making a really good living out here, feeding off the scraps of all the people. And there's tons of people out here, and it's noisy and it's loud, and the monitors are completely unfazed by it. It just goes to show that these monitors are so adapted at living in all of these different sorts of environments here in Thailand. They really, truly are an urban dinosaur. I didn't come to this market to actually buy anything. I came here to see the monitors in the wild, but there are so many boats here, and we're just crashing into them all. Whoa! Good God. We're gonna crash into these people over here. We're gonna crash into those people over there. We're gonna die. Whoa, 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 whoa. So that kind of illustrates how these Asian water monitors are taking advantage and living quite well in these urban habitats around Bangkok. But now, back to the Asian water monitors' habitats in the south. Alright, Rattler, so just like it was with the retics, the easiest way to see water monitors in the wild is to get on these rubber boats and cruise down the river. And the water monitors are going to be scavenging and hunting right on the shore of this river. Alright, so there's a water monitor sitting on the shore right over there. And one of the reasons why I wanted to come all the way down to this part of Thailand to show the wild water monitors is because the water monitors that live out here in the wild, they're going to be much thinner and much leaner lizards. Because obviously, they're not eating all the scraps and garbage left behind by humans. But again, the ones out here in the wild are going to be much leaner and they're going to be much thinner simply because they have to do what wild monitors actually do, and that's hunt for their food. And not only that, but they're much more wary of humans. So obviously there's a big difference between the monitors that live out here and the monitors that live in the city of Bangkok. So water monitors aren't strictly diurnal, they will move around after dark. However, as we saw in Bangkok, they find, little secure areas to spend the night, and they're not very active at night. In fact, in one of the parks in Bangkok, I actually sat and watched a monitor after dark swim around until he found a secure spot to spend the night on one of the docks. And he stayed there all night long, and we watched him leave in the morning. So most of their activity, again, is during the daytime. So I'm going to take some temperature and humidity readings right here where we just saw that water monitor. So the humidity during the day is about 55%, and it's 32 degrees Celsius, which is 89.6 degrees Fahrenheit. So this temperature reading is right now at midday, and the monitors are out active. This is their active period. They are actually out here moving and hunting and foraging at about 90 degrees ambient air temperature. So in your enclosures, that is the temperature that you should be keeping your enclosures during the day. And again, about 55 to 60% relative humidity in your enclosures. So as far as caging for your water monitor, like I mentioned in the retic video, when you go to buy that cute little lizard at the expo, you have got to have a long-term plan for your water monitor because they are going to get about 2 meters or about 6 feet, and they're going to do that pretty quickly. So you have to have a long-term plan for your water monitor before you purchase it. And water monitors, they live up to their name, water monitor. They are not found far from water sources like this river or a lake or any other permanent water source. And therefore, it's not enough to just put a water dish in with your water monitor. It needs a pool. It needs a place for it not just to soak, but for it to swim. And water monitors are expert climbers. So that enclosure needs to be big enough for that water monitor to be able to move around and then have different levels or sticks or things like that that it can climb on. And that's going to provide enrichment for your water monitor. In fact, a perfect example example of a water monitor enclosure can be found on Camp Kennan's channel. I'm sure you're all watching his channel and you know about his water monitor Slinky. Well, Slinky has almost the perfect enclosure for water monitors. Slinky has places that he can climb up on, move around within his enclosure, and he's got a big pool in which he can swim around in. But if you don't live in South Florida and can't have an outdoor enclosure for your water monitor, you have to take that into consideration before you buy your monitor, because these need large cages and they need a lot of space. So let's talk about substrate for your monitors and what the ground here in Thailand looks like. It's this hard-packed kind of dirt clay, and most of Thailand is covered with this kind of really loose soil, and monitor lizards love to dig. So this is what the substrate here in most of Thailand looks like. It's this hard-packed clay. It just kind of breaks apart, and the monitors love to dig and root in this stuff. But I would not use anything this hard packed as your substrate in your enclosures, even though this is what the monitors in this area are living on. So my recommendation for your substrate for your water monitors at home would be to use like Freedom Breeders cocoa blocks. Something that they can dig through and get that enrichment, but something that's not as hard packed as the surface that they're living on out here that could really injure their claws in your enclosures at home. So Rattlers, I hope that this video has expanded your knowledge on what Asian water monitors are doing out here in the wilds of Thailand. Not only in this wild environment, but also in urban environments. They are truly one adaptable lizard. So anyway, Rattlers, as always with these in the wild videos, comment below with a tip or a technique on how you guys keep your monitors so that other people can learn from you as well. And until the next adventure from here in Thailand, love the planet, feed your reptile obsession, and rattle on.